Hello and welcome. I'm Andy, and today we're going to be taking a look at Lara Fabian performing Caruso. And this is a request that I've been getting for quite a while now, ever since I did my first Lara Fabian review, which was of Adagio. And I've noticed that since then, both my Adagio review and my Je suis malade review have been kind of steadily climbing. It's been a pleasant surprise that there's so much interest in Lara, because I consider her one of the most underrated vocalists that I've ever encountered, actually. Now, one thing I want to tell you at this point is that Caruso is a song that I've been listening to for a very long time, mostly the performance of Pavarotti at the 1998 World Cup in Paris. That's the version I grew up listening to as a teenager. So it's the one that I'm more familiar with. I know that the original version was by Lucio Dalla, a version that I'm not massively familiar with, but I have seen a couple of times and it's beautiful. And then came Lara. I will do a separate video where we look at Pavarotti's performance and talk about the lyrics as well. And I also plan a third video where we look at Lucio Dalla's live performance of it, and we talk about the songwriting perspective, so the arrangement as well, and his performance, because that's very different vocally to both Pavarotti and Lara. So there'll be 3 videos about Caruso because it is a song that has a lot of material to cover. And so I want to kind of divide that up a little bit so that we don't overwhelm ourselves with material. So today it's performance and it's Lara, and I'm really looking forward to watching it. So here we go. This is Lara Fabian performing Caruso. Let's do this.
Qui dove il mare luccica e dove tira forte il vento, su una vecchia terrazza davanti al golfo di Sorrento, un uomo abbraccia una ragazza dopo che aveva pianto, poi si schiarisce la voce e ricomincia il canto. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te.
So I've got to come in here because there's never a good place to pause this song. It's pretty much the same with all of Lara's performances, to be honest. I just kind of want to keep watching. But at some point I have to kind of get through the things that I have in my head, otherwise I'll forget them. So the first thing I want to talk about is the piano at the beginning, because the pianist begins by playing one of my favorite chords, which is a suspended second minor chord. And he alternates between that and the tonic chord, which basically means that in a chord that usually would consist of the first, third, and fifth notes of the scale, he's adding the second note to make a suspended second chord. So if it were an E minor chord, for example, it'd be the F sharp. And he's alternating between that and the chord without that second note. So adding and removing it from beat to beat. Really atmospheric, really suspenseful, and I love it. And this continues throughout the song, actually. It's not just the introduction, it happens underneath the chorus as well. So it is a recurring theme. And this is also intermingled with some beautiful 7th chords, for example, in the chorus. Really enjoyable progression and also fantastic use of dynamics. So he knows exactly when to pull back and when to push it further forward. So love the piano playing. Obviously really well practiced and rehearsed between the two of them, because they have this feeling for timing and when to kind of go into the chorus together, despite the kind of slowdowns and speed ups again. So they've really tuned into each other there. Lovely. And of course it's Lara, so it's just exquisite. And what I also want to kind of highlight is the body language here. You can see also in this still that I've just stopped at here, she's really acting and performing the lyrics. So, you know, she's holding out her arm where she's talking about the blood running through the veins. She's really kind of not just focusing on singing the song, but actually living what she's singing. And this is something that's a recurring theme, you know, when she covers Je suis malade, she's living the song. It's not one that she's written herself, but she's really encapsulating what's in the song. And this shows, in both of her mother tongues, in French and here in Italian. She seems to be equally comfortable in both languages, which is fantastic. I love it. I love the way that she emphasizes in her phrasing. It's very conversational, just like in Je suis malade. It's like she's talking to you almost when she's performing this. And I also noticed the really breathy transition from the verse into the chorus. When I talked about Je suis malade, there were a couple of comments saying there were certain kind of breathy moments that they would like to have heard me comment on, and I've been not doing too much of that because I've been focusing more on the whole arrangement. But here we have just a beautiful kind of stripped back version with vocals and piano, so there's more space for me to talk about that here because there isn't a band for me to include as well. So yeah, there's a beautiful breathy transition from the verse into the chorus. Just listen out for that if you listen back to the song at some point. Right, I've said lots already, so let's carry on.
Che scioglie il sangue dentro i veni, sai. Vedi le luci in mezzo al mare, le sole notti là in America. Erano solo le lampade, la bianca scia di senti il dolore nella musica, si alzò dal pianoforte, ma quando vide la luna uscire da una nuvola, gli sembrò più dolce anche la morte. Guardo negli occhi la ragazza, gli occhi verdi come il mare, poi all'improvviso uscì una lacrima e lui credette di affogare. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue dentro i veni, sai.
Okay, and I've got to come back in here because, again, otherwise I'll forget everything. I honestly have the feeling I could sit here and just spend about 45 minutes talking to you about this song. I could break it down for you line by line, but I don't want to kind of take up all that much of your time. So I'll try and fit in what I can here from what I can remember. She's making this song so much her own. This I really respect because, it's really easy just to cover a song and just sing it the same way that it was originally recorded. And Lara's got this wonderful balance of staying true to how the song was written. So being faithful to the original melody, but also by putting her own spin on it and making it hers, by adding little trills, by occasionally going up with the notes to a higher note in the chord, by putting kind of little diva-esque ends into words, and also the breath. What I also like is how she's expanding her vowels. Again, this is a kind of more, what would we call this, kind of more pop ballad version of the song rather than the operatic version, for example, that Pavarotti sings. And it's obvious that she's really kind of made this a natural feel for herself. So beautiful. A couple of things that I could highlight is in the last part of the verse before it goes into the chorus, so the part that begins with Guardo negli occhi della ragazza. And I apologize for my very rusty Italian. It's been a long time since I spoke it. But that part becomes slightly distorted. So she's added a little bit of overdrive to her voice there and just increased the intensity of what she's singing a little bit more before she goes into the chorus. And then that hold at the end of the verse before she again takes that really large breath and goes into the chorus. Beautiful hold, really strong vocally, but also really expressive so that you can just feel that note with her. The chorus itself, she adds little things again. She, for example, when she sings Ma tanto tanto bene, she adds another ma, so she sings ma tanto bene sai. So just little things where she's adding her own little inflections on what would normally happen there in the chorus, just to make it hers. So, you know, this is a really distinct version of the song. It's not just any other cover of it, and there's been a lot of covers of Caruso. This one is special. Like, for me, there are 3 versions of Caruso, and that would be the original by Lucio Dalla, there's Pavarotti's version, which is the one that I grew up hearing, and there's this one. These are the big 3 for me. And, you know, I'm happy to stand corrected if there's other ones that you want to throw in there, but these are the 3 for me right now. Okay, let us carry on.
La potenza della lirica, dove ogni derrama è un falso, che con un po' di trucco e con la mimica, sai, puoi anche diventare un altro. Così diventa tutto piccolo, anche le sole notti là in America. Ti volti e vedi la tua vita come la scia di un'elica. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai, di te bene sai. At the piano, Charles Barber.
Well done, Charles Barber. And well done, Lara. Beautiful version. Now, again, this last third of the song, let me just kind of put together what I can remember. So the first thing, and I talked about this kind of conversational style of singing in the first verse. Here it's just so much more clear, because in the third verse, it's so dense in terms of lyrics. There's so much text to fit into those lines, and she's squeezing it in so naturally. She flows those words through the lines, and it really sounds like she's just talking to us. And at the beginning of the third verse, you know, for a moment I was just like shivering, because she really kind of was talking to us. Those first words, you know, the potenza della lirica, and it just kind of snaps you out of this kind of trance that you're in from watching the song already, and you feel addressed by it. And she also puts a bit of a croak into her voice, and that's on purpose, of course. That's for just a couple of lines there. So she's really good at employing the right vocal effect for the passage of the song that she's singing. So she moves between this kind of spoken word singing and then into her neutral register, and then she adds this kind of the croak to it. And then, you know, as she moves towards the chorus, she's pushing more, she's going into the belt in the chorus. You know, I'm not a vocal coach. I'm a self-taught singer-songwriter who's had a few vocal lessons when he's needed them to kind of work on things like breathing and voice control. There are lots of vocal coach channels out there who will tell you all you need to know about the actual technique she's using. But I noticed a few things, one of them being how she's really good with her positioning, and she's really good at knowing exactly how wide she needs to open her mouth to get certain sounds. I had to notice this with Adagio as well, that those really big belt notes, she's got such good control over the positioning of how wide to open to get the sound out as she wants it to be. This is, absolute professional here. In the chorus, we have a build-up from the first two, and what confused me a little bit actually was that the last two lines of the third verse were not there. Again, beautiful hold of the end of the verse into the final chorus. Again, that beautiful breathy transition. So, Lara is great at using breath as like a device to add tension, to, add feeling to what she's doing. And you see that happen in both Adagio and in Je suis malade. So this is my third Lara review, and this is a kind of consistent strategy that she uses there, and not just to breathe, but also as a sound device in the song. Okay, the pianist again, fantastic work there, and he doubles the vocals under certain parts of the chorus, which is beautiful. It adds that synergy, makes it feel like it's really gelled into kind of one musical unit between the vocals and the piano. So love this performance. Really, really enjoy it. Thank you to all of you who've requested this one, because I might not have got to it so quickly otherwise. So it's good that this one won the poll, and this has got me motivated now to take a look at Pavarotti's performance and Dallo's performance as well. So there we go. I have to admit, I've been looking forward to getting back into making my review videos. I had to stop for a little while because after my second COVID vaccination, there were a few side effects that I needed to get past before I could record again. So here I am. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that we finally managed to look at this quite frequently requested review. And I know there's more requests for Lara, and I will be getting onto those as soon as I'm able to. You'll notice that I'm only able really at the moment to put out 1 or 2 videos a week, but I want to stay current and stay in touch. What I want to tell you right now is that I am just about 18 subscribers away from passing the 2,000 mark. And I'm looking forward to that, because when I do, I will be setting up a live stream to celebrate the 2,000 subs, and I will be doing a live review of a Dimash song, which is currently being voted on my channel. And on top of that, I'll be doing a bunch of live reviews and reactions based on whatever it is that you request. So tell a couple of friends. Let's see about getting me across those 2,000 subs and hitting that milestone, and then we can have a kind of more live interaction with each other very soon, hopefully. I also want to encourage you to follow my social media platforms, including specifically my Twitch platform, because there I'm trying to build up a little followership so that I can do more regular live streams there and do some spontaneous live reactions on my Twitch channel, including streaming of some kind of longer concerts. My first one that I'm planning is the Denver debacle with Nightwish, and then we can have a bit more fun and a bit more of a longer experience sitting together and just having a chat. So please do go ahead and follow those channels on the side of the screen there. If you really enjoy what I'm doing, then please consider the Patreon channel as well, where for €1 a month, you can get instant access to all of my content that I put out here, and you can be the first to comment and the first to interact with what I've recorded. And for €5 a month, there's a special package where there's lots of bonus material, including videos that don't make it onto the YouTube channel for whatever reason, but also some early demos of my music, as well as some live performance videos of my songs that aren't on YouTube either. There's a whole lot of material on there, so take a look at the page and see perhaps whether that is something for you. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to the next time. Until then, bye-bye.